One of the most festive places now to be during the holiday season is Symphony Hall, where you often find Rudolph, usually a sleigh ride, and always that symphonic Santa, Boston Pop's conductor, Keith Lockhart. This year, you can enjoy all of that Christmas cheer in the comfort of your living room as well, thanks to the orchestra's first all-live holiday album, A Boston Pop's Christmas. Here's a taste. I'm joined now by the maestro himself. Keith Lockhart is the music director of the Boston Pops, now in his 18th year. Welcome.
Thanks. Thanks for that seasonal intro, too.
Yeah, I know. Well, Emily Rooney called me sappy on the show the other night, but after listening to something like that, how can you not be? It's the holidays, it's that great
Rudolph
music.
the Red-Nosed Reindeer does it for you. Huh?
Wasn't it your intention in doing the CD to make us all sappy?
Well, I think that's something of what the holidays and tradition are about. If I don't know if I'd call it sappy, but certainly what we do is provide things that people can reach out and grab in a world that seems to spin crazily and out of control and say, at least I recognize that. That's why we come back to the holidays, I think, every year.
Well, music is your world, obviously, but it seems like music does become central and fundamental to all of our worlds around the holiday season. Why do you think it is that music becomes elevated during this time of the year?
I think it's because music is a guide to our emotional connection with these times of the year. Music says things that we find impossible or embarrassing to say in words, and it elicits feelings in us that we can't explain. I mean, you hear something that you grew up listening to in church on Christmas Eve or something like that, and you get the shivers down your spine effect, which is really, frankly, what has drawn me to music all these years, is just being able to know that we had the power to create that.
When you obviously program all of the pop seasons, do you program any differently when you're doing a recording like this and you know that people are going to be having this in their homes and it could be a staple in their homes for years to come?
Well, this is the third holiday album I've had the chance to do with the Pops in my now, thanks for cheating me, but 19 years. It's the first one, though, that we've ever done in the whole history of the Pops that is recorded live. And that did affect, to some extent, programming choices. We recorded it over 2 years. Basically over 12 performances, because as you can imagine in Pop's holiday conviviality, it's hard to get an entire take of something where something doesn't fall on the ground. So, a wine glass, a wine bottle, several wine glasses. So it's, it did affect the programming in those, but basically it's just another collection of the great music that people have come to expect at the Pops during the holidays, but also imbued with the spirit and I hope the visceral energy of actually being there with your fellow humans enjoying this experience.
Well, I listened to it yesterday as I was driving, and it was really nice just to hear the audience applauding at the end. It does feel like an experience, but you were just talking about the energy, which I particularly loved in the 12 Days of Christmas, where you have this arrangement that has a whole mashup. So I'll ask you how that came to be on the other side, but here's a taste of the 12 Days of Christmas. That's great. You even managed to work Queen into the 12 Days of Christmas. How is that possible?
Wow. It's possible through the genius of one of our favorite Pops arrangers, a man named David Chase, who's very big in the New York Broadway world as an arranger and music director. And basically, we turned him loose on that. It came from this. The 12 Days of Christmas is a traditional song that's very difficult for us to do in Pops concerts because, honestly, 12 Days of Christmas is kind of like 99 bottles of beer on the wall.
Yeah, can I just stop for a second to say, when I first started listening to it, I thought, yeah, I almost hit fast forward because
Exactly.
you're so. Who wants to suffer through it again?
And various people have either said it just very straight, in which case after the sixth day it's like whatever, you know, and then or people have tried to be cutesy with it and come up with something inventive. And David is so brilliant. He's done many other of our more successful Christmas arrangements, and I basically said to him, I've hated every 12 Days of Christmas arrangement I've ever heard. Do something different. And he came back with this sketch, and it was still in piano form. I sat down and played it. I said, oh my God, he's done it. This is going to be, and it is. It is now up there with Sleigh Ride as something that will be a perennial at Boston Pops concerts that everybody is mad at me if we don't play.
Well, and how does it work? Because you have Tchaikovsky, and then you have the music from Oklahoma, plus the Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody. How does it all work?
Well, as I said, it's the mind of a genius, somebody who came up with a really good shtick, a really good connection for each of these things, and then managed to weave it together, which is, but it is seamless. It's one of the few things that I've ever been involved with that is quite literally a showstopper every time it's done. I mean, the performance stops dead in its tracks, people jump to their feet, and that's, what could be more gratifying?
Well, now talking about a piece of music that people never tire of, Sleigh Ride, let's listen to that. And I think most people don't know how local this piece is, but here's a taste of that as well. So this is homegrown.
You've heard that one before?
Yeah, many times, and I really don't tire. But this is the Boston Pops piece, essentially.
It is. It was from the pen and mind of Leroy Anderson, who was, for about 30 years, Arthur Fiedler's principal arranger, and Arthur Fiedler discovered him working at Harvard. He went on to become the American master of the light musical touch. He wrote this piece for the Boston Pops 1957, and it has gone on in these almost 60 years to be just about, I believe, the most played on radio across the world piece of modern holiday music, and it's ours.
How do you do the whinny at the end? When you hear that hoarse whinny, how does that happen? What instrument is it?
Well, it's originally written for solo trumpet, but we always figured that Santa would, have a multiple horse sleigh if we were taking this ride. So we have the entire section come up and do this whinny. It's a specific technical thing you'll have to talk to a trumpet player to do. But basically, you play really high and bleat down with the trumpet. It's surprisingly effective.
Have you seen anything that's, aside, and I think we may have talked about this before, but aside from Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas, is there any other song that's really surfaced to the level of a Sleigh Ride, or any of the other Christmas carols that you play every year, pieces of Christmas music that you play every year?
Well, speaking of All I Want for Christmas, it's something that I really want for the Pops repertoire. I'm just looking for the right soloist to do that with, but I love that song because, well, I love Actually, where people know it from. I'd say the Christmas song is the other song that is right up there in terms of modern masterpieces that everybody knows. And I got to record the Christmas song with Mel Torme, the man who wrote it, as my recording debut. So I've had a long association with Christmas music of various sorts.
All right, not that we want to forget the holiday pop season already, but you have sort of breaking news for us in terms of you're going to give us a quick preview of what we can look forward to in spring. This is the first announcement of that.
We are announcing just this coming weekend our spring of 2014 season. It's the theme is the very best of the Boston Pops, and it will delve into what the Pops does best, which is really music from every part of the musical spectrum, and focus on some of the over 3,000 great arrangements that have been made expressly for, like the 12 Days of Christmas and Sleigh Ride you just talked about, expressly for this organization over the years. Everything on this season, from a Speakeasy Great Gatsby concert featuring the Pops debut of the Hot Sardines, who are just absolutely amazing. Can't even describe them. You just need to hear them. Warren Haynes, the incredible guitarist, bringing his Jerry Garcia tribute show. The Pops, and as far as I know, the concert debut of Billy Porter, the Tony Award-winning actor from Kinky Boots.
Yeah, I just saw him on Broadway. He is amazing.
He is absolutely incredible, and I have to say there's a great personal connection there, because in my college teaching days in the 80s, he was one of my students, and even then, at the age of 18, you just looked at him and said, this kid's going to do something.
Yeah. Well, Keith Lockhart, as always, it's a pleasure to speak with you. I know we won't even see you except for up on the podium for the next month. So.
You'll see the back of me.
All right, good luck. Thank you so
anyway,
much.
Happy holidays, Jared.
Thank you. You too.